All right, going back to the political stories on coalitions and people being distressed about the disunity in the People's Democratic Party and which trickles down to the nation. To further discuss this, I'm now joined by Katch Ononuju, a political analyst who would help us unravel this development. Thank you so much, Katch, for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, let's talk about the coalition, looking at the PDP. We'll start with David Mark. Now, he's been a PDP loyalist for years now. What exactly does this say about the state of the party that even he is willing to walk away now?
There's nothing wrong about that. It's horse trading. There's nothing wrong with having your foot in two doors. And that's what you've seen quite a lot of them do. If they have been in PDP and didn't say when the party was destroyed, then there's nothing wrong if they move on. So because being inside has not been part of looking for solutions. And that's what I will tell those who are leaving. But I believe the PDP will come back. I have no doubt about it. If the PDP sees that those who are working with Mark, like Atiku and Co, have moved out, I think they will not come back together and fix themselves. They have had an Atiku Abubakar issue. If we just pray, if it is true that Mark, Atiku, and others can move on, I have no doubt the PDP can fix itself and then be able to do zoning, and then they can rebuild. As you saw at the last meeting, they were all very happy to move forward. But they seem to have one fundamental problem. Atiku's presence and those who support him not agreeing for zoning to be zoned to the south. And that was the fundamental problem of the party. Once the party did not do zoning in 2023, that was the reasons why the party splintered. So if Atiku and those who support him will go away on their own and join the ADC, whatever they're called, ADA, the PDP may be able to, on its own, now resolve to come back together and then at its next convention, chart a brand new platform for itself going into the elections. They have governors still who are with them. Never mind that a lot of them are very frightened of the capturing mode of the INEC and the forces of coalition, who, as you've seen what happened in Edo, in a lot of other states, and the fears brought about by those capturing strategies, you've now seen that manifest in Akwa Ibom, manifest in Delta State, manifesting in quite a lot of states due to fear that if you're not with, them, you will lose your state. So that's why we need electoral reforms, you see. But so back to the PDP, PDP will get stronger. I have no doubt about it going into its next convention. They have now fixed their next meeting in the next 3 weeks. I'm sure by then you will see more people come together and they just may be able to pull through it and then set themselves on a path for rebuilding. I have no doubt about it. Nigeria can never be a one-party state. We are a democracy. We are diverse. We disagree to agree. We agree to disagree. So it's part of who we are. We can't all be in one big pot. It doesn't work that way. Nigerians will not allow such to occur. So I expect, for the sake of the democracy, that the PDP gets its act in order, which I think they're about to resolving right now.
Okay, so speaking of diversity, now this new opposition coalition seems to be gaining a lot of momentum, and very quickly, if I may add, especially with big names like Atiku and El-Rufai backing it. So do you think that this is shaping up to be a real challenge to Tinubu and his administration in 2027, or is it too early to tell?
It is not too early to tell. It also will, the challenge will depend on what do they do to unite the opposition. Don't forget, what destroyed the opposition was a refusal to zone. Don't forget that. So whether you come together as an alliance or you come together as a coalition, what you need to understand is what is the foundational problem that brought about an implosion in the opposition camps. It was the refusal by people like Atiku and Co. to agree to zoning. So if either in the alliance or in the match forces or in the PDP, it is agreed to now do the right thing, and then they will agree to zone to the south. That's when you can now get the opposition come back together. But if they still keep playing the stories of it's me or no one by Atiku, which from what I have now agreed, understood, I think Atiku has come to the terms that yes, the zoning has to go to the south. And that's, if you ask me, the only thing I'll tell you will help this. If you don't zone it to the south, it's gone. But once you zone it to the south and get Atiku calm, then the party will be able to use P2B to rebuild the oppositions. And then we can have our politics and our democracy back onto very solid ground. Because the only problem that caused the implosion of the opposition was the refusal of the opposition people to zone. And that's what's cost. So if you now resolve that problem and zone to the south and then target, say, P2B, that's when the opposition can have any chance of rebuilding itself. But splintered opposition, as everybody says, they don't have the punch it takes to mount a credible challenge to the Tinubu's presidency.
Okay, I mean, I'm glad that you've mentioned democracy and also talked about the fact that it's not meant to be a one-party system, because we've got David Mark, we've got El-Rufai, people from different political backgrounds working side by side. What does that kind of partnership tell us about how and if the political landscape is shifting?
It's an admission by them, David Mark, Atiku and Co., that they failed. They made a mistake. You see, nation building in regards to the politics of the country means there must be inclusion. If there is no inclusion and you're only insisting on trying to practicalize the decrees and the things that the soldiers wrote, then you can damn it, say, come, let's do opposition, let's do alliance. No, you must remember there is that ingredient inside nation building called inclusion. Without inclusion, you can't build partnership. Without partnership, you can win. Just like how the way APC came to power. Buhari tried it alone, it didn't work. But when he got the inclusive support of people from the South, and most pivotally, people from the PDP, called MPDP, it was that rainbow that gave him victory. So if you do not plan to include people, like embracing nepotism as policy, that's what destroyed Buhari's administration. And the nepotism was extended into all parts. And that's what I tell you. If the opposition gets it right, you will see a lot of changes inside the Tinubu administration. It will now be acting in recognition of an alternative platform being presented by the opposition. But if they do not think about inclusion, forget about it.
All right, thank you so much, Katch Ononuju, political analyst, for joining us to discuss this. And definitely, like I always like to say, we'll see how this pans out and see what this means for democracy and inclusion in Nigeria's political landscape. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.